Hello, Aries. Great to have you here. My name is Shauna. Today's reading is a general love forecast for November 2025. As always, take the messages that resonate and release anything that doesn't. Don't forget to like and subscribe to stay connected with upcoming readings. Let's see what's headed your way, Aries. Up for you guys here. It's greatly home related, okay? So the place of residence, the place of dwelling. For some reason, I feel almost like some of you are kind of reassessing. Is this home environment bringing me happiness, stability, and abundance anymore? And I feel like for some of you, there's some type of a sentimental attachment when it comes to the physical house that you're in, apartment, house, condo, whatever the living arrangement is. And it's hard for you to leave, but rationally you feel like, oh, if I move house or if I change residence, it's going to be a lot cheaper. Or if I change to another location, I can rent out my current property and I can make like an exorbitant amount of money. So I feel like you're making these practical calculations, but there's still something holding you back from physically leaving the house. And I feel like it just could be, sentimental reasons. For some of you, it could be, your very first house that you've purchased. And then others, you might be living with somebody or sharing space with another person, and they're not at a point in their lives where they're ready to move. So I do feel a little bit of frustration here about, what's my next step? What am I supposed to do? And I also feel as well, some of you, it's like an inheritance, a house that was inherited, that was passed down to you. And you don't want to rent it out because you're just like, other people are not going to take good care of it. And it's a gift bestowed upon me. So I need to be the one to take care of it. And so I feel it would be a really good idea if you were to rent it out. Hire a property manager, someone that, a reputable company that can do that for you, so that it will free you up so that you can move somewhere else that you feel the rent would be cheaper, that you feel it's more in alignment with where you are in your life right now. I also feel there's a lot of things happening. It's like a busy, busy neighborhood. So I don't feel that you're getting the proper peace of mind. And then you go home, after work at the end of the day, and the home environment is not new anymore. It's almost like it can be a double-edged sword where so many things have happened in this house, good or bad. And then you're kind of itching for a new move. I'm feeling that any moves happening from now is going to be very, I want to say, it's going to bring about new energies, okay? And you're in a position right now where finances are flowing really well. So you might want to, make contingency plans and aim to be in a place where you're a lot happier. I feel some of you are walking around the premises of your home. And you're just, you could be cooking, for example, and you're just like, oh, I wish I had a relationship partner, because cooking for one person, it feels like it's a lot of work. Whereas if you had somebody that you love and care for, a child, a partner, a roommate, whatever the situation is, you wouldn't mind cooking. You would find enjoyment in being able to take care of another person and have them appreciate the fruits of your labor. So then in relations to that, it wouldn't feel like such a chore when you have to, when you extend that love, that prosperity, or share that meal with another person. I feel some of you are ready. You're definitely ready to, get serious when it comes to dating. And for career success has been, widespread for many of you. And so you might just be too busy and not really, prioritizing your dating life. And then I'm also sensing as well, there's this energy here. And I just did the Pisces reading, and you guys are right after Pisces. And when I did the transition between Pisces and your reading, I feel this major theme of power struggles in relationships, okay? Especially for those of you who were born on the Piscean Aries cusp. Power struggles, issues when it comes to submissions and dominance is one of the major theme, possibly interfering in your relationship sector as well. And for those of you who are dating men, okay, who are dating men, I feel like your partner wants you to submit. It's almost like it's really difficult for you to kind of lose your own sense of independence when you're in a relationship. And if your partner wants you to submit, it's really hard. And it's going to create power dynamics, power differential, as well as power struggles in your relationship. And that might be one of the reasons why it's hard for you to find somebody just as strong, but also as receptive in order to cater to you. And then I'm also sensing as well, partners, it's also, a challenge finding people that are not that are strong in themselves, so that when you have your tantrums, or when you have your arguments, or when you have your discussions with them, they don't just bend over backwards to try to accommodate you. You don't want that type of a partner. You want somebody who can, handle his or her own. But then it goes both ways as well. I feel like if you have that understanding that you want somebody that is just as strong, and you're just as strong, it can make the relationship feel very lopsided. It can make the relationship feel like it's a lot of work all the time to maintain that perfect equilibrium. And so it's just something I want you to really think about when it comes to relationships. Where can we soften our energies just a little bit to accommodate and to be more understanding, and to, really enjoy our partners for who they are? And where can we as well compromise just a little bit, so that we're not constantly at tug of war with each other? And I feel like coming to that realization is really going to help you in your romantic sector, in your relationship sector, as you're dealing with, people that might engender or embody, a different energy. And so that you know how to, when to push and when to pull, and when to kind of like be led along the way, and to feel okay with being led, rather than feeling like, oh no, I'm losing my power, that's why the other person is pulling me along. It doesn't have to work like that. It's not about, keeping scores. It's mainly about maintaining the harmony in the relationship, because this constant tug of war can feel very isolating. It can feel very isolating. It can feel as if people might not, I want to say, like, they might be intimidated about approaching you. Like some really good romantic prospects, they might be intimidated about approaching you, mainly because they feel like it's a lot of work. They feel like already, it just seems tenuous. And so softening up the energy, whether or not you're male or female, aiming to be a lot more accommodating, and I want to say a little bit more emotionally sensitive to your partner's needs. It's going to be very crucial for you. Okay. I'm also feeling as well, aim for people that are interested in, building with you. So that means you want to aim for the relationships that has the element of, collaboration, cooperation, team effort, because we can't go through this life alone. Okay, and we can't be happy if we're the one dictating everything and the other person has to follow. I feel like it can feel very isolating. It can feel very burdensome if you start to feel that you're doing all the work, but then, like, it's almost like you're taking it upon yourself to do all the work in the relationship because you want things a specific way. And so you might have turned down multiple times when your partner tries to, I want to say, like, they try to voice their needs, or to voice, their contributions. And so we're ending up where we are right now, where we might feel a little bit isolated, where we might feel like, why am I having relationship difficulties? I feel like this can be answered very internally. And I also feel that it's really important for you to kind of reflect a little bit more about this constant tug of war that you've had with relationship partners in the past, okay? Aries, that's just something I want to kind of throw out there. And I know it's not going to go over well with, many of you. You're just like, I'm not like that. I give so much of myself, and you do, you do. You're a very generous sign, and I do feel that, you have this innate moral compass. You know right from wrong. And when something, it just feels like it's a little bit lopsided, I feel like your natural inclination is, wait a minute, that's not right. But if you take a moment and absorb the message, or to, just sit still with your thoughts for just a second and figure out, why is this person doing this? Why are they, softening up? It doesn't show any weakness. It just means that they're ready to compromise. And so a lot of the times, we need to be smart about picking our battles. And we also need to be smart about trying to maintain this sense of harmony, this sense of equilibrium with the people in our environment. It doesn't even have to be relationship partners exclusively. It could be, parents, friends, lovers, whoever it is in your environment, even coworkers. Aiming to be a little bit more understanding, and I want to say a little bit more receptive to what people have to say and what people are going through. That's going to be very important, okay? I'm going to pull out one last card for you, and then we'll go ahead with this reading. Wow. So I've been pulling this card out a lot for many, many, many signs. I believe for, let me see, I believe it's 3 signs now. So you're the 4th one. So first of all, money is not really going to be a problem for you guys for this month, okay? We have you here swimming in monies, knowing how to manage your money, having a lot of financial assets, having a lot of things that you're dabbling in. And I also see a lot of expensive items, expensive furnishings, expensive purses, shoes, and things like that are constantly around you. Some of you might even have a home-based business where you're working on the side, or you're having a lot of prosperity. You don't even need to come into work. You have everything at your disposal in the home front. And so you have a lot of financial abundance that is coming through for this month, a lot of contracts, a lot of people seeking your skills. And overall, if you are working for somebody, like working a regular 9 to 5, this is like having an upper position where you're kind of like in the flow of things. You don't have to, scratch your head when people ask you questions. You know how to answer the questions. And so I feel some of you are kind of like in the upper echelon, of your work environment. You could be supervising, you could be managing, or you have enough technical skills under your belt where you're not like a trainee, you're not a newbie. People respect you, and you don't have to do your work in such a rush in manner in order to prove to anybody anything. So this is a really laid back, relaxed, financially abundant card. And I feel like you're in a very good financial space, and you don't have to worry about financial insecurity. What I do feel coming through here with the Magician card and the Temperance card here. The Magician is a situation where somebody is undergoing some type of new technical information, either going through a training seminar, shifting from one job to the next, as indicated here with this Ace of Pentacles, which is a really good thing. Shifting from one job to the next and feeling a little bit like, oh no, am I going to be able to succeed? Am I prepared? Do I know all the technical information? Am I going to be well received? Are people going to be receptive towards me? Am I going to be able to communicate well? I do see a little bit of a stage fright energy, which is something I feel is not normal for you guys. You guys are generally, very I want to say limelight oriented, so you won't shy away from, public speaking opportunities. But it seems like there's something new that's coming into the picture for you, possibly shifting jobs, shifting locations, shifting into a new position, and you're feeling like you might have to undergo training, you might have to learn the ropes, you might have to learn procedures, you might have to contend with a new procedure, a new software, a new program, but there's something here that is making you feel waver. It's making you like kind of doubt your capabilities, kind of doubt your skills. And I feel like you're anxiously waiting for this new move, this new opportunity. And it's coming at a time where, you're comfortable where you are. And as a very adventurous sign, I feel like you will never shy away from a new opportunity. But this opportunity is coming in a way where it might be very, very rushed, where there's a lot of things happening for you for this month. And this new shift in the location or even in the job opportunity is just casting some doubts on whether or not you're in the right profession, whether or not you're meant to be in this next step, whether or not you're able to leave things behind in order to implement this new move, this new career move, or this new profession. So I do sense overall that you are going to be tremendously missed. I do feel that where you are right now, you're really, really comfortable. You command authority. You're very persuasive when you speak. You know things, you know how to do your work, kind of like the back of your hand. You don't need to consult anybody. If anything, other people might consult you on how to do a specific procedure. So leaving this state behind, leaving this state where we are so confident and so secure, and other people look up to us as the stable force or the stable influence in this work environment, and shifting away from that into the next place where we're feeling kind of like emotionally displaced. We have to make friends again. We have to do the office politics. We have to play nice. We have to project this energy that we are very likable, that we're very, we have to blend in. I feel like that's making you feel a little bit uncomfortable. I feel like this new job is going to be very prosperous for you, okay? The Ace of Pentacles usually indicates 9 to 5 work, working for somebody else, getting a very stable, consistent income. But with the aces, they have a lot of potential for growth. So you might have already seen movements. A lot of people that might be in the new work environment, they've already gotten promoted. They've already moved on. And so a lot of positions are opening up. And that's why if you shift yourself into this new position, there's a lot more opportunities for moving up that chain of command or moving up, within that hierarchical structure. So I feel like there's a lot of movement, a lot of momentum. And I do feel like it can feel a little bit daunting. It can feel a little bit scary because we have to start from the ground up, make new friends, meet new coworkers, learn new procedures, learn the layout of the land. And I feel like the environment is just different. It's something that you need because I feel like you thrive well. Wherever you're plopped down, you thrive really well. And this is the first time where I feel like you do have nostalgia for the past, and you're kind of, on the one hand, ready to kind of take your plans out into the world, ready for a new adventure. But when it shows up in the reverse, it's almost like, feeling like, did I really finish things in the past? Is it really done and over with? If I leave, I might not have a chance to come back. So I feel that energy playing out for many of you. What I'm feeling here, first of all, we have here an earth sign. So this is a Taurus, a Virgo, or a Capricorn. And I feel almost like, this is somebody who's very nervously coming to you. And they want to ask for something, okay? They want to ask a favor. They want to ask to borrow money. They want to ask for your advice, for your expertise. And I feel like they're doing so in a very nervous manner. And so approach this person with, kitty gloves, because I feel like they might have done this in the past. They might have done it many, many, many times before, and it can feel very aggravating because you're kind of wondering why. You're just like, why aren't you able to take care of yourself? Why do you always need assistance? Why are you asking me the same questions when I've, helped you many, many times in the past before? Why are you not able to absorb this piece of information? So I feel like there's a little bit of annoyance and frustration coming from your end. And then I'm also feeling as well, it's almost like you're looking at this person and you're almost telling them kind of like, know your place. Look who you're talking to. Be careful about who you're talking to, or, be respectful of the chain of command. So you're almost telling this person like, you're no match for me. And so I feel there's some tenuous energies coming into the picture, especially for those of you who are starting new jobs, and somebody is telling you, somebody is kind of like, positionally they are beneath you, but they're telling you what to do, or they're giving you ideas and insights, or they're giving you advice on what to do, and it's almost like they don't really know their place. Okay, so that's a little bit uncomfortable to deal with, and I want you to be very patient, and I want you to just, humor this person. Humor this person, because if you're in a new work environment, you want to be as, I want to say, like, as nice and as approachable as possible, especially if it's a new work environment, because I feel like this situation has the potential to turn really bad if it's not handled properly. Okay. And so I feel this energy coming through a lot more on the work front. We also have another character here. This is a water sign. This is a water sign. I'm sensing this person is no longer kind of like a permanent fixture in your life. You're moving on to new things. You're moving on to a new phase in your life, and you're kind of turning your back. This person as well is doing some attention seeking. They're trying to reach out to you. I feel like they might be financially in dire straits, and they're reaching out for emotional assistance, financial assistance, and you're kind of turning your back, and you're keeping mum. You're keeping, like, things to yourself. You're not really interacting and engaging with this person. And I do feel as well there has been some type of manipulation, power struggles with this person in the past. So this is a Cancer, Pisces, or Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. And I feel like there's still going to be communication with this person. And I do sense like there's some financial upsets happening in their lives, and they're coming in for financial assistance as well. So you're in a position where people are coming to you and they want advice, they want assistance. And I do feel a lot of it is financial in nature. I'm sensing as well, I mentioned for the last month's reading, you've walked away from a relationship, and you've walked away mainly because the relationship really hurt and chipped away at your pride, and you were still wondering, did I do the right thing? It's going to put you in a space where you're a lot more sure about your decisions. You're a lot more sure about where you stand with people, because everything is going to be very clear cut. Everything is going to be very apparent, and there isn't any doubt in your mind whether or not you've made the right decision. So moving away, moving into a new environment, I feel it's going to validate that. It's going to bring about that sense of, energy where you're going to feel good. You're going to feel like things are stable. The calm before the storm, I feel like it's more like internal, and it's more mental, where you are still dealing with some type of grief, some disappointment, and especially some lies and deception coming through from people. But I do sense overall you're going to be sailing away from this, and that separation is not going to hurt as bad, and shifting away into new